is Nurse Brook, and welcome back to my channel here on YouTube. It is called Brook Talks, where we talk about a lot. We talk about books, we talk about healthcare, we talk about plants, and pop culture. Okay, so this video is going to be focused on another book review. Now, this book review will have spoilers, okay? It will have spoilers. So if you don't want to know all the things that are going on with this book, then I advise you to go finish the book and then come back and let me know how you feel about the review, okay? So there will be spoilers. There will be spoilers. There will be spoilers. I cannot remember where I saw this book recommendation. I want to say that I seen it here on YouTube somewhere. I watch a lot of videos about books and things like that, so I cannot remember who I got the recommendation from. But if I do, I'll come back and tag them later. So this book is called Chlorine by Jade Song, okay? And this young lady is a Chinese American competitive swimmer, and she is under an intense amount of pressure from her school, her, teammates, her coaches, her family, essentially to be this perfect teenager. I will say this book is odd. It's very odd. It's right up my alley with its oddness and weirdness. It is like something that I've never read before. It is very unique, a very original story. And it is about Ren Yu. Again, her name is Ren, Renyu. And this is pretty much a coming of age story. And she is going through the book telling us the process of her becoming a mermaid. Okay? Now, this is a literary fiction. It's not necessarily supposed to be like a fantasy or like anything like that. So it is a coming of age. This is how I become a mermaid. And there's lots of different things that come with that. Some very heavy things that come with her becoming a mermaid. And apparently she became a mermaid at the age of 17. And we'll talk about what her becoming a mermaid is. Like, what does that look like? Now, when I say mermaids, I'm not talking about under the sea. Under the sea. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your deep, dark folklore of mermaids that kill. Mermaids that are dark and possibly evil, or whatever the case may be. Those versions of a mermaid, like a real version of what a mermaid is thought to be. Okay, this simple fantasy idea of the fact that I'm a mermaid and y'all aren't, I'm a mermaid. That fantasy of becoming a mermaid it started off very innocently, and it starts to take an increasingly dark turn for Ren. So the more that Ren struggles with isolation, she struggles with racism, she struggles with her sexual identity as well as her ethnic identity. As she's struggling with these things, as well as being one of the best swimmers on the team, and dealing with a coach who is a creep, who was possibly a creep, she is really and truly believing that she is a mermaid. Okay? She believes that she is a mermaid. So I'm not going to give too much on this book recommendation, book review, but I will say that as the book progresses, you can just see the inner turmoil of Ren. She is not a reliable character. And she seems like she's a reliable character up until we get to a certain point in the book. That's my opinion. She seems extremely reliable up until we get to a certain point, and then we're like, She does end up having a serious accident where she calls it that she cracked her skull. She cracked her head or broke her head. And after that, these delusions or ideas that she is a mermaid, they grow stronger. that she is going through some process to become a mermaid, they continue to grow stronger and stronger. And as a nurse, in my opinion, it feels like she had these ideas and this fantasy about the fact that she's going through the process to become a mermaid. But then she hits her head and she injures herself. And she starts to have like hallucinations, if you will. Like she's having, from what I'm reading and what I'm understanding, she is having serious hallucinations post this damage to her head. She's having serious migraines. Again, she's having hallucinations. And she is really hell-bent on the fact that she is becoming a mermaid. It gets to a point where Rin, in her last couple of stages that she's in to become a mermaid, she does something absolutely unthinkable. Something that I've never heard of before in any book I've read. She does something completely unhinged, completely crazy. Rin does become a mermaid. And you'll see that she has a friend who is like a best friend who eventually becomes something of like a lover, a love interest or something, if you will. You have to read it to kind of understand what I'm trying to say and how that dynamic happened and how it continued. And that friend is writing letters to Rin, you know, asking her about where she is. Like, after you became a mermaid, you know, I didn't hear from you. I've been writing you. I threw the bottle out into the water so that you could get it. And it, honestly, a lot of people that I've seen doing reviews on this book have said, you know, oh, you know, Rin is becoming a mermaid and, you know, the book ends and maybe she actually became a mermaid. I don't believe that Rin was I don't believe this was like a fantasy. I don't believe that Rin was actually becoming a mermaid ever at any point. Like, at the beginning, I was like, okay, are we becoming a mermaid? Is this real? Is she delusional? Is she actually becoming a mermaid? And this is actually a mermaid story? I was honestly conflicted the entire time in the book until I got to the end. And in the end, what really happens to Rin? Does she become a mermaid? Does she disappear? I really honestly feel like at the end of the book, I don't want to say too much, but I just feel like Rin did something really, really bad in order to become a mermaid. And what I think that she did is, I think that Rin unalived herself. I really do. They don't say that. They don't tell you that. But me putting my context clues and reading skills together and medical skills together, I know for a fact that Rin was not actually becoming a mermaid. She was going through a mental health crisis that all of these different factors fed into. And then when she hit her head, I just feel like it made her spiral even more down into this deep, dark pit of her becoming this mermaid. Did she ever become a mermaid? You may never know. By the way the book ended, you may never know. I do kind of like how it ended because it did give me a couple different thoughts of what could be happening, like I'm doing here on this video. But I don't think Rin is with us anymore. I really don't. And those letters that her friend was writing, I just feel like those were just her. That was a way of coping with the fact that Rin was gone. That Rin became a mermaid. That's my opinion. That's a very deep angle, but that is what I get from this story. I wasn't sure if I liked it at first, but after I kind of got into a little deeper understanding of the book, I'll give it somewhere between a 3.8, maybe right at a 4, but I don't know. Y'all let me know if this is a book that you would be interested in reading. I am on Goodreads, so click my links. I'm on Goodreads. I'm on Audible. I do read a lot of books, and I do come here. I do have some books that are unreleased that are supposed to be published this year that are not released yet that I have been able to read. So I'm excited to do some reviews on those books. But that's all I have for y'all today. I don't want to go too much in detail about the book. I did give you a pretty big jump at the ending of kind of what I'm thinking is going on. But I did mention that this video had spoilers. So if you stayed to the end of this video, kudos to you. If you read this book, let me know if you've read it. Let me know if you agree with what I'm saying or if you have a different take on the book. I would love to hear it. I love that. Please come back. If you are new here, thanks for coming back. If you are new here, thanks for coming. If you are not new here, thanks for coming back. This is Nurse Brook from the Brook Talks channel here on YouTube. And I will have more book recommendation and reviews for you guys later. So come back for more. Bye.
Glass on my gun, I'm in my zone. Pretty with a purpose, yeah, I do both.